The Pope speaks in Washington. From our nation's capital, I'm Ed Kelley, editor of the Oklahoman. With me, Mark Green, national editorial writer for the Oklahoman, and a frequent contributor here on News OK TV. Mark, there's been tremendous attention this week, obviously, with the Pope's visit. Is that because he's in two media centers, today in Washington and this weekend in New York, or does it go beyond that?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with it being in the two giant television markets in this country. It's the first papal visit since 1999. It's hard to believe it's been that long since a pope was in the U.S.
That's true.
And so you got the combination of the places that he's visiting, and also the fact that it's been a while since a pope was here, and he's new, relatively new, just marking his third anniversary, I think, on Saturday. And so all of these things kind of come together to create a lot of excitement about his visit here.
Mm-hmm. He said several times since he's been in Washington that he's deeply ashamed, those are his terms, by the sex scandal involving American priests. What is the significance of this? Because it sort of seemed to come out of the blue.
Well, you know, I think that even though John Paul II spoke about the scandals when they broke, and I'm sure that Benedict also spoke about it when he became Pope. Again, this is the first time that he's been in the U.S. This scandal was almost a singularly American phenomenon in the sense that it really impacted the church here, really impacted Catholics here. A lot of shame, a lot of disgust, a lot of anger toward the church for not being more aggressive in either preventing it or following up on it. And so here he is, his first trip to the U.S., his first chance to speak in person, so to speak, about this issue, and I think he wanted to come out with a strong statement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot written this week about President Bush, who is a Methodist, having a strong affinity for Catholicism. Does that explain why he's been so front and center the last couple of days with the Pope here on his visit?
Well, it may. I think that I was thinking about that same kind of thing this morning, and there's something about popes and the leader of the Roman Catholic Church. They have kind of almost a generic religiosity about them that presidents want to wrap themselves in, and especially I think it started with Reagan and John Paul II and John Paul's strong anti-communist roots. Right. And I think President Bush and probably all presidents from here on will want to cloak themselves as much as possible with this kind of overarching religious figure. It's not really about specific doctrine so much as that this guy stands for faith and religiosity, and presidents want to be associated with that. And obviously I think that Bush hopes that Benedict will be the same kind of voice for the kinds of things that Bush advocates as Pope.
Thanks, Mark. Stay here on NewsOK.com for continuing coverage of the Pope's visit to America.